The town of Bournemouth in the early years of the 20th century. A comparatively young town with many fine buildings. Buildings of quality and distinction, which made it the envy of many other seaside resorts. As the 20th century draws to a close, some of the town's early buildings have survived. This, however, is the story of one such building that gave pleasure to so many and yet has now disappeared forever. One of Bournemouth's greatest architects of the Edwardian era was J. Frederick Fogarty. Amongst his most notable achievements was the Russell Coates Museum, a building much admired by the famous architect Sir Hugh Casson. J. Frederick Fogarty was also responsible for many other famous Bournemouth landmarks, including the building which was first known as the Winton Hall, a building that was popular enough to be featured on a picture postcard of the time. This was also the time when the new form of popular entertainment, the kinematograph, was first featured regularly in Bournemouth at the Shaftesbury Hall. However, it was the Winton Hall, soon to be renamed the Winton Electric Picture Palace, that became the town's first real cinema. Countless thousands came to see the stars of the silent screen, and little changed for 20 years. Then a new dimension was added to cinemas all over the world. For the Winton Electric, the coming of sound meant a change of name. Nothing succeeds like success. Follow the crowd. Owing to the perfect acoustic properties of the plaza, it is considered the finest talkie house in the district. Such was the proud boast of new manager Harry Mears, later to become Alderman Mears and Mayor of Bournemouth. The cinema prospered under the management of the Mears family for nearly 50 years, but not without yet another change of name, for in the 1950s the cinema became known as the Continental, and it began to cater for more specialist audiences. The type of films may have changed, but the cinema's unique appearance was virtually unaltered, and the building, on its imposing corner site, was a well-known and well-loved local landmark. Even those who had never set foot inside still admired it from the outside. In the late 1970s, the management was taken over by Jack Southern, who later formed a partnership which resulted in the Continental featuring the very best in prize-winning foreign and art films. Films that would otherwise not have been shown within the area. It also became a showplace for special film presentations by local organisations. During this period, the cinema was often featured in the local press. special film about it was shown on BBC television.
We've got a show to put on, a tradition to keep up.
That was the voice of Jack Southern on the film, but little did he realise that this particular tradition would soon be brought to an untimely end. Suddenly, in the summer of 1989, the building was put up for sale, and there was to be a dramatically different show for its audience. With almost indecent haste, that most important part of Bournemouth's architectural heritage was reduced to rubble. Only memories were to remain. A few things were saved. Part of the ornate plasterwork, an exit sign to be used elsewhere, an old projector to be refurbished in an enthusiast's garage, a ticket found under the seats. The fine set of festooned curtains is now in use at Bournemouth's Pier Theatre. Many of the seats have found a new lease of life at the Rex Cinema in Wareham. Ironically, the bricks, made at the original Verwood brickworks, were returned to Verwood to be used for the base of a road. The show was almost over. The building that had graced that corner site for so many years was gone. But perhaps, in its final reel, it was the Winton Electric Picture Palace that had the last laugh.